The accountant version of the software includes the report module. If you buy the single user small business version, the report module isn't in it. So you have to have an accountant's version of the software to have this. And I wanted to go over some of the more basic pieces of the report from the standpoint of how to use some of this information up here in the top right, how to set up reports, how to set up templates, and then some of the updating options. So the report is, we're constantly adding pages to the report, and it right now is probably at between 30 and 35 pages, depending on what options you want in the report. Over on the right is the kind of the brain center of how to set up a report for each client. And over here, kind of in the largest section, we have all the different pieces of the report. And first off, what this bullseye does at any section of the report is it'll take you straight there. So if I want to go straight to the introduction, I'm going to hit this bullseye and it's going to scroll me to that part. If I want to go back to the front page, here. So you can kind of navigate the larger sections using this bullseye piece. These checkboxes determine whether this section of the report shows in the final draft. So if I don't want the introduction in the report, I can uncheck it, and that change has not been saved. So that's why I scrolled over this, is to highlight that you need to save it for it to actually save to this report here. But you can check and uncheck things as you want them in or out of the report. Each section then has its own drop-down menu over here. So if I expand on the introduction, you can say whether you want it to explain the grading system or not. So if I go to the introduction and get to know the grading system here, if I don't want that in there, I can save this, and it's going to omit that piece of the report, because the idea here of the report is to make it as customizable as possible, right? Like I don't want this report to be something where you're forced to use text, you're forced to use descriptions or sections, any of that. So making it exactly what you want is pretty important to us. I'll go back up here to the front page, and probably the biggest question we get asked about has to do with updates. So what happens is you make a report in February, you like it, you send it to the client, then you come back to this report in May, and it has the same old information in it. And that's because the way that we've set up reports is it's going to save the data as, the projection data as a snapshot of when you created the report. However, you can update any section you want to current values. So if it was using February data and you click this circle here, which is next to report options, this is going to update the entire report. And then you can see some of these other options in each section. If you click one of these, it's just going to update that section, which I don't know exactly when you'd want that, but again, we're trying to give lots of options. So if you only you want to leave the data the same, but you want to update demographics, you can click that, and it's just going to update the demographics piece to possibly what you've changed for the client name or the firm name or things like that. And in this demographics section here, you can see business data and different things. So it's just gonna update that section. Whereas most of the time, probably if you're updating a report, you're going to want to click this button and have it update everything. And we have lots of different, we've got lots of strategies here. We've got where you can set up your top 3 strategy picks here. The projection summary has quite a bit of detail. So in all of these sections, if there's something to update, you can do that. So that is what this bottom part is. And I jumped to that first because it's good to have an understanding of what all of this is before we get into some of these ideas up here. If you want to search some piece of these things, you can do that here in this field. Now, up here at the top, right now I'm on something called report 6622 at 2:20 in the afternoon. If I want to edit or rename that report, I can do this as, let's say I just want to call it the June report, right? I can save that, and now that's going to be called the June report in my drop-down field here that shows all these reports. I have several reports. I ran a report in January. I ran one in 2021, several of them in 2021. So you can rename all of these, and all of these reports are saved here in case you ever want to go back to them. I'm going to stick with the June report for now. If I want to delete the report, we know what that does. Whatever highlighted report or whatever report I'm on, when I click delete report, it's going to say, are you sure? You're going to say yeah, and then it's going to actually delete the report out of the system. If you want to create a new report, you can do that here. It's going to give you a timestamp as the name of the report at first, and then you can change it with the rename report just like I did. Reports are client specific. They are using client's data, whatever client you're in. In this case, you can kind of see the email address up here. You can also see the client's name here. The client's information here is based on what is set up in that client's profile. So right here, you got to have that information in there for this to populate on the report. However, just keep in mind, reports are client specific, because down here we have templates. Templates are firm specific. And the reason that's important is, let's say in the abstract, if we come here to the abstract, and you wanted to go in here and change what some of this stuff said. So instead of introduction, the path to zero tax, you want to call this welcome to tax planning season. Okay, something like that. You want to do that. And we'll click save here for a second. And let's say that you want every report that is generated in your firm to have that as the opening title of the abstract. So if I come back here to the abstract, welcome to tax planning seasons here. And you can go through and edit lots of things here, right? You can edit this text, you can edit this text, all that. And you want that to be all the time. Well, now what you want is a template. And we have a few templates here already made, but what we'd want to do is save this as a template. And we could call it firm master template, right? Now, if I go to another client and I want to apply a template to a report, when I'm in that client, I click apply template, and it's going to do that. It's going to create a report that's using that template. And so this allows you to take all kinds of different settings throughout this reporting piece and make those templated items and save all of those settings to where you can use the same template across, every client, every report you do, and saves you a lot of time having to customize this thing a lot. My advice is make sure that you manage your templates a little bit. You can always delete templates, right? Like, let's say I don't know what this basic template is anymore. I can delete that and keep your templates clean and teach your staff how to use those templates. But again, templates allow settings to be, managed across the entire firm and using the same settings across every report you do. Reports are customized for each client. You can, of course, save those as you go. To finish up here, you can hide the report options. If you're doing, say, a presentation, you don't want to show those report options and you're just trying to do a presentation, you can bring them right back here. So show hide there. And then if you want to download this as a PDF, I just click download right there, and the PDF is created and you can send that to clients or do what you want to do there. So that said, that is the report. And if you have any questions about how it works, definitely let us know. Otherwise, we appreciate you using the software, and thanks for using Tax Planner Pro.